At the beginning, there was nothing, and then the universe was born. But it did not do so alone. Born with the universe itself came Skimrath, a life form already sentient and aware of its surroundings. It was all alone in a dark and empty void, but it had the ability to make copies of itself using whatever matter is around. Being surrounded only by hydrogen atoms, Skimrath took this matter and made its first progeny, the first astroclade. The first astroclade could also reproduce, changing ever so slightly every generation, until the void was filled with bright and lively stellar creatures. This is how this universe began. The creatures living in it understood it was something special, so they gave a name to their unique cosmos, Nima. Welcome to the world of the Nimalings, my creature design project. Every creature is born from a particular idea I wanted to make real, inspired by the many things in our world that I love. I exclusively design one when I'm hit with inspiration, no rush of filling a specific role or reaching a specific amount, but I get inspired a lot. At the moment of writing, I'm at 97 creatures. Each creature is very dear and near to my heart, and I really wanted to give them a spotlight in video form, so here I am. I will be showcasing 3 to 5 creatures per video, discussing their design process and their in-universe characteristics. And every now and then, I will be explaining the universe's rich history and lore. Let's begin! Back in 2018, I was inspired by my friend Linkendorf to start designing my own creatures. I was in class, but I instantly started doodling. As a biology enthusiast, I knew firsthand I wanted to represent animals that are seldom talked about. So I went with one of the most obscure fossil animals beloved by me, Schimella. This weirdo belongs to a group called the Vetulicolians, an ancient clade from the Cambrian, seemingly related to tunicates and chordates. This was the original doodle of them. I didn't have a strong direction back then, so I simply stuck some antennae on the head and a hook knife on the tail. I kept experimenting with patterns. Eventually I made my first ever original digital art, and decided to call them Skim Skewer. It was admittedly very novice work, and several months would go by until I started designing the Nimalings proper, with more solid ideas in mind. I started designing several of them. I didn't count Skim Skewer, they were left behind as a simple beta drawing. Time passed, it was 2022, I had already designed 42 creatures I was very proud of, and that's when I suddenly remembered Skim Skewer, the first original design I made, based on one of the first complex animals of our planet. It clicked. What if I turned them into the ancestor of all my Nimalings? So I began to redesign them as an angel-type creature. And so, number 000, Skimrath, was born. Number 000, Skimrath. Born alongside the universe itself, this creature is the origin of all life in it. It has the ability to make copies of itself using whatever matter is around. These copies then multiply and mutate across generations, filling the universe with endless forms most beautiful. It's inspired by Schimella and Big Bang aliens. The idea that back in the early stages of the universe, where the void itself was warmer, life could have evolved, and it would then spread throughout the universe as it cooled down, only surviving on habitable planets. The name comes from Schimella, Seraph, and Av, which is my nickname online. They are quite colossal, though are able to grow bigger and smaller depending on the situation. The other silhouette you see at the bottom is that of Solem. You'll learn about them later, but basically they're about the same size as our Sun, so around 1.5 million kilometers. All the previous iterations of this design would still be canon, since all the creatures evolved through natural selection, across generations and mutations. Surely some more basal ancestors look like the beta designs. Skimrath is a very important character in the history of this universe. You'll see more of it in the future. Now for the first astroclade. This was an idea I had in 2025, to categorize every single Nimaling into taxonomical categories, each born from one of 4 direct children of Skimrath. You'll learn more about the others in the future. Right now, the first one is in the spotlight. The ancestor of all star-based creatures. The stars are alive and sentient in this universe, had to come up with a design that showed they were directly born from Skimrath, while also coming off as very cosmically powerful. So something related to stars that can also be elongated like Skimrath. A spiral galaxy it is. Number 000A, the first astroclade, swirling about through space, accumulating matter, fusing atoms, giving off light. The first astroclade went on to multiply and mutate further, filling the void with living stars of different shapes and sizes, adapted to different niches of space. These living stars would end up creating the new elements needed to create future lifeforms, as well as the light needed to keep them alive. In the present, astroclades endow our days with sunlight and fill our nights with evocative sights. They also like observing the lie of their light powers. even acting as a protector, ensuring the constant welfare of the inhabited planets of their solar system. The astroclasts discovered they could fuse atoms in their cores, over time achieving heavier and more complex elements: lithium, carbon, oxygen, iron. With this ability they made the first planets, made out of all kinds of different rocks and gases. The new elements they created interacted in astonishing ways: proteins joining together, lipids making walls, complex chemistry was discovered, and this caught the attention of Skimmeraf. Their creations were partaking in the joy of creation themselves, and they wanted to take it further. So Skimmeraf took these complex chemical compounds that the astroclasts had made and made a copy of itself, the first carboclade. The carboclades include all the Nimalings that are carbon-based lifeforms, inspired by plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and the like. So what would be a legendary elongated creature that could represent the ancestor of them all? What about a creature of myth? The Leviathans, the sea serpents. Number 000b, the first carboclade. The first carboclade would multiply and mutate further, populating the planets made by the astroclades. Every planet is filled with unique and harsh environments, and carboclades evolved to survive and thrive in every one of them, taking all kinds of forms to travel through land, water, and air. Some of them even develop the ability to transform their environment, manipulate the matter around them to make tools, and build structures to better suit their lifestyles. In the present, carboclades continue diversifying through time and space. As they are quite a lot smaller than astroclades, they find a lot of space to spread, and since they were the second earliest clade to be created, they find a lot of time to multiply and diversify. So they are the most abundant kind of life in the universe. This concludes the first episode of this journey through the world of Nima. I hope it's as engaging to learn about as it was for me to create. Next episode we'll finally take a look at the first creatures I designed properly, whose index numbers go beyond 0. See you then! Thanks for watching!